Welcome to Digital Dominators, the podcast that helps small business owners grow their confidence, sharpen their digital skills, and actually enjoy showing up online. I'm Sooz Young, your host, tech coach, and digital cheerleader, and every week I chat with brilliant experts to bring you practical tips, smart strategies, and the tools and tech to make business easier. From social media marketing to websites, content to confidence, AI to automation, we're breaking it down into simple steps you can actually use. If you're ready to make things simpler and more successful in your digital world, you're in the right place. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back to Digital Dominators, the podcast where we dive into the digital skills, systems, and strategies that help you build a business that runs smoother, sells smarter, and supports the life you actually want to live. Today, we're tackling a trap so many entrepreneurs fall into, trying to do everything themselves. From answering every email to onboarding clients manually to duct taping tools together at midnight, if you're constantly stuck in the weeds, chances are it's not because you're doing the wrong things, it's because you're doing all the things. And that's exactly where today's guest comes in. Ilaria Sambi is an online business strategist, automation expert, where she helps overwhelmed entrepreneurs simplify their back end, map their customer journey, and start automating the right things without losing the soul of their business. After years of seeing talented service providers and coaches struggle under the weight of DIY tech, manual tasks, and inconsistent processes, Ilaria made it her mission to help business owners get out of the chaos and into clarity. She builds human-first automations that not only save time, but create better client experiences, stronger systems, and space for actual growth. In this episode, we're talking about how to stop being the bottleneck in your business, what to automate first, and how to build systems that support your success behind the scenes. So let's get into it. Hello, Ilaria. How are you today?
Hello, lovely Sooz. Thank you for having me. I'm very good, thank you.
Yeah, good. I love reading out people's bios because it just is always a great way to help the listeners know how amazing it is that you are and what it is that you do to help people. So let's hear it from your words. Tell us how you got into automations, into setting up your own business. Tell us your journey to where you are today, Laria.
Of course. So it all started many, many years ago when basically my background is science. I am a biotechnologist, which sounds like, hard and complicated, which it was. It's a career that I started, I chose this university. I decided to specialize. I am originally Italian. I came to the UK because there was a perfect opportunity for me to start working in a very big company as a scientist. So on paper, dream job, the job that I studied for. So I came here, started my career, and initially it was fine. I was doing what I loved or what I thought I loved, what I've trained all my life for. And then started slowly to be a bit not really finding easy to fit in that corporate environment. The atmosphere was a bit toxic, a very male dominated industry. So I started thinking, well, I don't want to do this all my life. But I didn't know what to do. I was really, for a few years, I was in a real pickle, knowing that I wanted to do something else, but not knowing what. And thinking that all I could do in my life was science, because that's what I studied. That's what I focused for like 15 years of my life between study and work. Then eventually, during my maternity leave with my first child, which is now 7, I had the time to just look around, read books, self-development books, and just see what else I could do and research online. I came across an ad on Instagram, I think it was Instagram or Facebook, of this lady who was a mom, and she started her writer business online. And I had no clue, no idea that people could do that. No idea there was this like amazing community of people working from home, people working online. And this was just before COVID. So it wasn't as common as it is now. So I was interested. I got intrigued by this ad. I followed the lady, bought her course about launching a business. And then the rest is history, as they say. So I started as a virtual assistant because I knew that I was a techie person. Like in work, I was always the one who would fix the problem on the computer, the unofficial IT person of the office. But I didn't know how I could translate this into a career. So also, I remember the first years were quite frustrating, like knowing that you got something in you that you could help people, but not knowing exactly how, what should I have studied, like where to start. And eventually I made it. So eventually it started to become clearer and clearer about what I enjoyed doing and what people online needed. And that's how I ended up helping people with automations. And I absolutely adore it. I think it fits perfectly my scientific brain. I'm a problem solver. I am stubborn. So that's exactly what people need when something needs fixing. And they panic and they don't know what to do. I don't stop until I fix it, which sometimes can be a problem because the time goes and like at some point you need to say, all right, there's no solution. But I get the really satisfaction of this job when I fix things and I find a solution to tech problems.
I absolutely love that. And I can align with that so much as well, because working in tech, there's always a solution. And that's the mindset I have around it as well, is like, there's always a way. There's always a way. There's always a way to
Yes.
fix it. But you
Yes.
can get caught up in the time it takes to try and find that
Yes.
solution. There's sometimes stepping away and then coming back to it. But you addressed something really important there, which I think we should come on to as part of our
Mhm.
conversation, which is the overwhelm that people feel when it comes to technology. So we'll come to that. So let's talk how we met. We met at Lisa Johnson's Strategy Day, and
Yes, we
it
did.
was very unusual for me to meet somebody that's got a similar amount of experience around and passion as well when it
Mm.
comes to technology. So I really aligned with you when I met you in that, and it's just been great ever since. So I'm so glad
Yes,
that I've got you on
same.
the podcast.
When you started introducing yourself in my head, I was like, I need to meet her. I need to talk about geeky tech with her.
Totally. We can totally chat this out. So I've been really looking forward to this conversation because we both really understand the challenges that business owners have, and individuals when it comes to implementing tech, using tech to structure and set up their business, and being overwhelmed by the tools and not using them as tools, but using them as replacements. We're going to break this down throughout today's episodes, and we're going to try and simplify the process, but I want you to share it in your view and how you look at it. And then I will help and support that with what we do over here at Technology Coaching too as well. So let's talk a little bit about systems in general and why they're important for businesses, right? So tell us what customers you kind of work with and what type of systems that you put in place for them, Ilaria.
Absolutely. I work with entrepreneurs, usually small businesses or growing agencies who usually they already realize that they are wasting time with tasks that they should automate, they should delegate. They don't really know usually what is possible, what and how to do it. So sometimes it's like the baseline is the awareness. They know they need something, but they don't really know about which tools are available, which systems they should have. And then once they realize that, which one they should prioritize, and then finally the tool that makes it happen for them. So I see that a lot of people come to me asking me, what's the best tool? What's the best tool to automate your business? But I would never start from the tool. So the tool is, sometimes there are so many out there. It's not about the tool. It's about what does your business look like? What do we need to automate first? Which systems work for your business, for your specific situation, etc.? Because not all businesses are the same, right? An agency is not going to have the same priorities as a VA or a dance teacher. So I work with a lot of different types of businesses, in person, offline businesses, or online businesses. Yeah, the key point is that nobody likes tech, but they start from the wrong question. The wrong
Yeah.
question. They should analyze like which system they need first rather than which tools, or like which tool is cheaper.
Hmm.
Because as you know, it's not about which one is cheaper, it's about which one is more convenient in terms of saving time and doing exactly what we need it for it to do.
Yeah, exactly that. I go with the same approach because people do, they always usually struggle with what it is that you're going to help them with because they don't understand enough about what their setup or their process really should be. Again, it's always working with that individual, maybe not the person, but the individual business and the
Yes.
setup. So even if it's the team, it's like, how does the team communicate with each other around the tools? What are the team's understanding of how they interact with the technology themselves? And so it always starts from that point of view, the individual
Yes.
customer or their journey themselves and not the tool itself.
No. Yeah.
Because it's not about the tool, right? And this is what,
It's not.
like, trying to change people's mindset around all of this. It's not, let's implement AI. It might not be the right solution for your business. Let's add this. We need to add this to, it might not be the right solution. So it's taking that step back and going, what are the fundamentals here? Is it a skills problem? Is it a tech problem? Is it a person problem? Where is the issue here? How do we sort that out?
I had a client recently coming to me saying, I need some automation. We need to start using Zapier, which is an automation tool. But I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. What, just because it's like FOMO, everybody else is talking about automation. I want some automation. That's not how it works. It's like we need to go deeper. It's kind of, it's like a holistic approach. What we do is not, it's never just about the tech and solving one problem, because we need to have a look at the business as a whole, right?
As
Like how
a
many
whole.
team members, like what's the communication like, what are the current processes like, and then find the perfect solution.
Yeah, and I think people don't realize it's not a quick fix either. It's
No, yeah.
about implementing a business infrastructure change, and the tech is the foundation as part of that, right?
Yes.
So the technology should be running for you, not against you. And if it is running against you, it's one of those things that are not working. It's the systems, it's the people, or it's the actual tools itself. So let's talk about how we think about the tools that people work with, right? So there, as we
Mhm.
talked about, there's hundreds and thousands of tools that are out there, but there are some that you'll probably use and recommend more than others.
Absolutely, yes.
What are your go-to tools that you use?
So I am a verified ClickUp specialist. So ClickUp is a project management tool. I use it myself. I recommend it to all my clients. It's free to start with, and you can basically organize everything that's going on in your business. You can start from a simple to-do list to organizing and managing your marketing, your scheduling, or your posts, your client journey. You can do so many things. It's not a CRM, so it doesn't have the capability to have, so, it's not an all-in-one system, but it's really useful when you have a team, when you have a lot of clients. So I recommend it to all service providers or coaches, just to keep track of everything without having to jump between a lot of different tools. That's definitely my number one recommended platform. Then I love MailerLite for funnels. That's another one that is free to use. I love a free tool when it gives you
Yeah.
a good starting point. If your business needs something else, then I would recommend you what's best, as we were saying before, for your stage. But if the person who's listening now is looking for an easy and quick way to start, MailerLite is still for me the best one out there. I don't know if you agree with me.
Yeah, I agree. Have you just seen they've changed their plan from 1,000
Yes,
to
unfortunately.
500? I was like,
Yes,
oh man, that's already impacted some of my clients because they're now going to need to
I
upgrade
know.
or cull some of their list as part of it as well. But
There's a
that's
lot
again,
of platforms increasing prices so far, and a lot of people panicking. I've seen Kajabi's raising the prices quite a lot, and people are thinking about moving away. And my opinion is that it is not as easy as let's move to where what is cheaper.
exactly.
Because, oh my God, just for me, just thinking about all the faff to move everything somewhere else, having to learn a new platform, the possible, mistakes, because mistakes happen when you
Yeah.
transfer things and information, possibly delaying payments. It's just, oh my God, that's not worth the faff.
Hmm.
But then, of course, if
It's the
somebody's
cost,
starting right now, yeah, it's not just the cost of the tool, it's the cost of transferring,
time.
probably hiring somebody to do it,
Yeah.
losing some leads in the meantime because your system is not working anymore whilst you're transferring. So there's just so much more than just what you pay. if somebody's starting right now, so then I will tell them, maybe before I would ever recommend the Kajabi. Now I could have a different opinion, but like, never, who knows? Like, depends again, depends on this business, if they're going to use all the platform in with an all-in-one, or they can just start with MailerLite or with ConvertKit or other platforms. Yes.
So we started with ClickUp. Now, is ClickUp, if we were to describe it as a tool that other tools that are out there that are similar, is it like Asana? Is it like
Yes.
Trello in that sort of
Yes,
project
exactly.
management way? So
Yes.
if people have got an
Yes.
understanding of those tools, which again
Yeah.
were really good free, that are now paid for, and you've had to
Yeah.
move over to the other tools as well, isn't
I
it?
guess at some point, yeah, everything will. I mean, the cost of living increases for everybody, even for big
Exactly.
companies, and they will have to pay for their employees as well. Yes, so it's similar to Trello. I always recommend, like, if you're very, like, not tech savvy, Trello is an easier one to start with. But then Asana and ClickUp are very similar, and it's more, so you can do more with ClickUp. This is not a shameless plug, but yeah, it is. But I've got a course that I've got a course about ClickUp, which is not about teaching you all the millions of things that you can do with ClickUp. It's about using just the minimum that you need to run an online business. So you don't have to have a team or a big agency to use ClickUp. It can be used by people who are simply running a business as a solopreneur. They maybe have a VA, so it doesn't have to be complicated. And so the course, I built it because I thought this was missing, like the tutorials for non-tech savvy people. All I found were like courses about ClickUp for techie people who wanted to know the ins and outs, but sometimes that's not what you need, and that overwhelms people knowing everything. There are just very few actions or like little automations that they can build, and they can change and save so much time without knowing the ins and outs of a platform.
That sounds great and exactly what businesses need. And I think we should address the point that all businesses are online businesses, because if you're
Yes.
not digital now, then you're really missing collecting customers in the online space. So we're not just online businesses, that as in digital businesses, every business is online
Yes.
business. And so having a system in place for how you use and project manage your tools and the people that are using the tools and the tech in your business. ClickUp sounds like a great shout for that. And it's great that you've got a course that people can just plug and play and get those steps
Yes.
to get it set up effectively for you. I like to think of your technology as a team member. So you
Mm.
have to give it the same amount of nurturing, the same amount of respect. You've got to speak nicely to it. I do stroke my computer and say, "Oh, good computer," to get it to
Good.
work better. And I think we need to invest in it the same as we would a person, right? And so
Yeah.
we're seeing that now as we're interacting with AI tools and how the AIs are built to be humanized in some sort of way. So how do you approach technology? Do you have a similar output in that way for a similar thinking? What is your approach to how you get
I
people to interact with it?
I'm not saying thank you to my tools, but I should start probably to my screen, to my computer. Yeah, actually, it's I love tools and I love technology like you do, and I'm very grateful that we are allowed to do this. So the fact that I can do this from home, from anywhere. I travel often to see my family in Italy, and my tools, even my laptop, a microphone, everything allows me to do this, which is awesome if you think about it. I do say thank you to AI, to ChatGPT, when I ask for something, and say please and thank you. And I think I really like your view to see technology as a person, as a part of your team, because unfortunately a lot of people enjoy playing with tools like we do, but it's something essential. You cannot escape from having, well, I mean, you can definitely run an offline business without any automation, but you're gonna burn out. There's no other possibility, because we don't have a lot of time during the days, especially if are somebody who's a mom, who's got other commitments, a carer for someone, you want to travel. So for all these reasons, it's just simply not possible to run a business without some automations that help, that make your life easy. Um,
People carry a phone with them and then they say that they're not techie. And that's what always bemuses me, because they're actually carrying a mini computer that they can't live without. Yeah. But the automation piece there is super important, because you mentioned there that you are able to take your technology or have your technology work for you while you're away traveling, or when you've got your life happening, just like everybody's got their life happening in the background, but they need the tech to work for them, right? They need it set up in a way that is going to do the processes that are required when you're not able to interact with that technology. As a creator, I used to spend hours re-recording voiceovers to get the perfect tone. But finding reliable voice talent, booking studio time, and editing takes forever, and it can break the bank. That's why I recommend 11 Labs. It generates ultra-realistic AI voices and even clones your own, all in seconds. With natural-sounding speech, multilingual support, and seamless text-to-speech conversion, 11 Labs powers podcasts, audiobooks, training modules, and more. No mic required. Ready to level up your audio? Try it free today at allmylink.me/TC11labs and bring your scripts to life with 11 Labs. So as a business, again, we're going to start with this like basic setup into this automation world. What are some really simple automations that business owners can think about to help them get some time back or to remove some bottlenecks? What are some things that you see quite a lot with business owners that
Yes.
we can help
Yeah.
get those myths out, if that's the right
Yeah.
expression to use?
There are a few things that I see all the time, and sometimes they still surprise me. For example, people don't realize how important it is to start as soon as they can to collect email addresses of people. So to have somewhere that people can sign up to their newsletters, even if they are not actually sending newsletters, sign ups to somebody's email list. It's something that we are so used to doing, and it's the simplest and most effective marketing wise way for you to keep in touch with your clients or potential clients. So that's something for me very simple to set up, but I think everybody could do it with just a little bit of watching YouTube videos. With MailerLite you can set up something like that, and yeah, that is an automated process, as you know, that really saves you time and also could make you money along the line. So it's not always about saving time, but also getting in your world and keeping in touch with people who might potentially be clients in the future. This automation is allowing you to do that. So funnels is one. And then something else that I see all the time is clients or like people who are interested. They want me to help them. But when we go through all the tasks and all the things that they do manually, they always come up with like, oh yeah, but that one just takes me 2 minutes. That one I can do it. That one takes me just 30 seconds. I can do it. So you can do anything you want. So there's nothing that you cannot do yourself in your business. The point is, should you do it? So is it something that can be automated? Because 30-second task here, another one here, and then your brain switching on and off on this, I don't know if I'm talking about an onboarding process. Maybe you're doing your work, but then the client needs to sign a contract. So you shift and you send the contract. Then you go back to what you were doing. Then the client has signed the contract. So all these like ping ponging in your thoughts in your brain is not good for productivity. It's not an efficient way to spend your days. So you want to free yourself up from the tasks that you should be doing, even if they don't take long time. They don't when you take them singularly, but it's a compound effect.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm trying to educate people more and more that the reason, like, best way to make more money and work less hours is to be on the lookout for the small tasks that you can automate. So you should be seeing something, okay, I've done this already twice. Is there a way to automate this? That should be the spirit with everything until you are just doing the things that you're supposed to do because it needs to be you. It cannot be a machine. It cannot be an automation. It cannot be a VA.
Yeah, it frees up the time for you to be more creative and
Yes.
to think about the growth of the business and to how you can help support your customers better when you're stuck doing the the little bits here and there,
Yeah.
which we all do, because like, I'll just do it because generally you'll find this more, again, I'm assuming, but I see this more generally in women as well, because we'll just get it
Yes.
done because we can just get
Yeah.
it done.
We're used to do
Yeah.
everything
We
for
just
everybody anyway.
do this and we can do that and we'll just get it done. It takes me two minutes to get that done. Oh, I'll just do it myself. When actually, is that a good use of our time? Is this a good use of our creative space? Is this a good use of our brain space? And can it be utilized more effectively? Yes, it can. And that's where the tools can come in to be able to help with those processes. So, where do you get clients to start with that process? Do you get them to write it down? Do you get them to screen record? How do you get them to work out where those bottlenecks are or those time suckers are taking out in their business?
Yes. So in our process, we have a very long questionnaire that people can decide to fill themselves, or I can help them so we can fill the questionnaire during our first call. And it covers everything. As you were saying before, is like an holistic approach. So I want to know what they're doing in every area of their business. In some areas, they might be doing a lot, either, I don't know, marketing, maybe they've got a presence, but then they are neglecting like the finances. So they don't know what's their income, they don't know their
Yeah.
expenses, or they are neglecting the lead generation. So as we said, every business is different, but it's good to, and my clients also tell me that exercise is good for them as well, to write down these things with the guidance from me, because also they realize even before I tell them which ones are the areas where they are spending too much time, they should automate, and they're not really working the way they should in a business.
The questionnaire is super important for people that work in tech because we have to understand the whole aspect of the setup, because technology is a system and it works. It's just numbers, right? So it just works out off of numbers and how things work and communicate back and forth with each other. And so you're then tend to work out, well, this is what we could work out when I was at Apple. We could work out whether or not it was either a hardware, a software, or a person issue, right?
Hmm.
And we had
Yes.
a couple of phrases for it. I'm sure I've shared these in other episodes, but I'll repeat them here. So we had an expression called a picnic error. So it's a person in chair, not in computer. So we could work out whether or not it was the actual human error or it was a computer error. If we knew it was a software error or if it was a hardware, it was actually a technical part of the device where the issue is. And most of the time, it was a human error that was it. And that's due to us not being trained how to use technology. It's constantly evolving all the time, and we're just expected to know how to get it to work. And we get frustrated when it doesn't work for us. So we are always we're asking questions to our family and friends to find the best ways to be able to get the devices to work for us, but it doesn't always work that way. That's why you need an expert to be able to help you to do it. Right?
Yes.
That's why we need the experts in there. But when it comes to this questionnaire, we have to ask the questions to fully understand. And I love that you support the people that are filling out those questions for you on every step of the way. Because if you were to go to any sort of tech support, they would be asking you these questions
Yes, of
in those
course.
ways as
Of
well.
course.
So it makes it no different when you're going to a business expert to be able to, you would want your business expert to ask you those questions. And it is a
Yes.
real self-reflection for the business owner to kind of go, right, actually, these are just by answering these questions,
Yeah.
I'm already
Yeah. Oh, they
starting
know
to
already.
see.
A lot of times, yeah, they come to me, as I was saying before, asking, just, can you do it for me? Can you do this and that? But it's not as easy. So we need to understand what's been done, what's there already, what's been tried before. Why are we not using a specific thing? Because, so, that they might have had somebody helping them. So there's so many variables that we can't just jump in a business and start setting up things with the tools that we
Hmm.
like everything I do is bespoke. Is There's nothing, there's no cookie cutter approach, because no,
No.
that's just not possible with what we do.
There's no, and this is where I struggle as well with with business owners that do say, oh, this is the one way that you're going to do it. You're going to set it up this way. Because it doesn't work like that. Not all businesses can work the same way because not as humans all work differently. So we need the
Yes.
human to be the part of that. And that's where the tech supports the human journey as part
Yes.
of it. I love it because we're both on the same wavelength and we're both singing the same sheet and we both
Yes.
know this is how we both support our customers. So I absolutely love it. So when it comes to, right, we've talked about basic bottlenecks in the business, and that could be just with the little things that are the time takers in the business. We've talked a little bit about funnels there with your email automation. We talked about ClickUp and project management, maybe how you're managing your business and your other tools as well. Let's talk about other types of automations, and then we're moving into AI, and AI is starting to
Mhm.
do some more automated tasks and AI agents as well. What are you starting to see develop not only with your own clients, but where do you think that's going to move into as well as people move into more of that intermediate stage
Yeah.
of their business for
Yeah.
automations?
I'm very excited about the development of AI. It was even myself a bit scared slash overwhelmed at first. Like, how do I use it? I don't have time to learn how to use it. Like, literally every day I see new apps or new, AI tools, or like we get updates in ChatGPT, which is the one that like most people use. And I find it really, really exciting and really inspiring, the fact that I can, without any coding knowledge, I can create an app,
Hmm.
nearly fully functional app, is a bit scary because, you never know how people are going to use it. There's kids already being able to, build apps and create business, which is great, because it sounds to me like suddenly there's so many blockers that we used to have. They're not anymore. So like if I wanted to launch an app, I'm just taking the app as an example because it just blows my mind. So before you should have gone to a developer, but now you can start, like, you can create a prototype by yourself and then do the right thing, that like the real thing afterwards. It's just fascinating, and it's great. And I think, and I'm excited for the fact that people will not need us like tech experts that much anymore. So I'm not, like, a lot of people ask me, are you worried that you're going to lose your job? So, you can just ask now if you have, because I do a lot of tech fixing or like, SOS sort of help for my clients. But now they can just ask ChatGPT how to fix something. And I'm not worried about that. I actually think that frees me up to do the important things. So like the strategic work, that is what I enjoy. Fixing things, yes, as we were saying before, problem solving, like fixing something that took nobody knew how to fix, it gives you satisfaction. But if AI is helping me focus on the more important things that just a human brain can achieve, like the strategic, like systemizing, that is a good thing. That is a good thing.
Yeah.
I started my business because I don't like the idea that people are not able to have an online business because they don't know the tech.
Yeah.
So I'm genuinely happy to see that tech is becoming more approachable. Even
Hmm.
me, I was able to build a really complex automation for somebody by using coding, by asking ChatGPT, and I was blown away. So yeah, so like in every aspect, I think it's just gonna get better and better. There's always gonna be downsides, like, the scary thing of you don't know how people are gonna use all these capability, and feels like it's a bit out of control. Like, it keeps growing, keeps like loads of improvement keeps coming out, and you're like, my God, I just hope that there's no bad person who's
Mm.
gonna use this, because you don't even know how, yeah, how things can develop. I just choose to look at the bright side and the positive side, and in our business,
Hmm.
I think it's yeah, it's just, everything is very exciting. I don't know how you feel about AI. I'm
Yeah.
sure you think similarly to me, I hope.
Yeah, early on boarder, right from the start. I do make sure that it's the ethical and legal approach to using technology, as with everything. But I think the streamlining of processes and having automation that's elevated even further is just, again, we're so time poor, and I think with having the technology take some of the tasks away from which have been so mundane and mostly administrative tasks, which take up so much time. I think that's where the benefit is because it allows us to be more human again.
Yeah.
And it's about us being more human in the world of AI and automation. That's what enables us to be. And that's what I'm really looking forward to more and more, despite the fact that I've always loved robots and all of that stuff. I've grown up in the 80s and 90s. So there's part of that as well. I think the point is to have curiosity, and the point is to be curious, not only for the positive impacts that it can make on your life, but also where are the things that I need to be more aware of, or where is the ethical, where is the legal side of it, where are the parts that are important for me to have set up so that my customers trust me and they trust that my usage of AI
Yes.
is in alignment with the sustainability goals that we have, where does that fit with the business values. All of that stuff has to be super important, because we don't, again, as we set up a business, there's no instruction manual. There's no guidebook for how you set it up. It's really strange, isn't it? Even though we
I
go to
know.
school and we learn how to do things and work for a company at schools, but we're not taught how to set up a business or how to do it ethically or legally. And I think that's where business owners get burned a lot, because they're working with either other business owners that don't have that mindset and aren't set
Yes.
up in that way. And so they end up using the tools and the technology that implement that in a wrong way. And I don't know how I got down that route, but it ended up that we're down there as part of it. But no, I'm all for AI and automation usage. And where I can see the impact is especially in public sector and charity work as well. And so recently I've been doing quite a lot of training in public sector and charities. I've got some charity training coming up as well. And that's where you can see the impact being made, because they are so time poor. They've also got lack of budget. They've got lack of
Yeah.
income to money to spend. And the people are so passionate about making a difference, about making an impact, and they need the tools within themselves to learn how to use these technology tools better, so that they can make a better output for the people that they're having an impact in what the business is doing. So that's where I can see this whole tech for good and making tech work more efficiently and effectively for them. So that's where I see the big impact happening. When we look at what the big AI tools are doing, like Meta, for example, and what the Gemini Galaxy devices. I don't know if you've seen the adverts on television where it's like, how do I make this recipe better? How do
Yeah. Yes.
I book my holiday? Like, is this ethical AI? Is that a responsible usage of using AI? Or is it that I could get the entire experience for this person that I can have more time with this human person to let the tech work in the background
Yes.
for me, right? Is that what we're doing? Is it that I'm scrolling on Facebook and it's telling me there's a picture of Machu Picchu and then it's got 4 questions underneath that Meta's wanting me to ask and interact with Meta AI around Machu Picchu? Is that an effective use of AI? Is that sustainable? I don't know. Is this helping me to learn and develop? I don't know. But yeah, I can go on and on and on about this type of stuff as well. But I wanted to go back to when you talked about how to there as well, because I've just off a podcast that we did last week around content creation. And recently I've been reading about how to, because of AI, we don't need to create content like that anymore, right? Because we can use AI to generate our
Yes.
how to content, and that allows us to be more human. So from a content perspective, we can interact with our audience in a different way. But from a tech perspective, right, how we're supporting tech businesses, or how we're supporting businesses with our tech, sorry,
Yes.
it's about teaching them how they can interact with the AI tool to find that information out themselves. But they don't know the full holistic approach, which is why people like you are still needed, because you're still
Yes.
needed to understand the full tech system setup. It's not just that one tool. Right. So an
Yes.
example would be, let's say the business is using MailerLite, but MailerLite also communicates with another tool and another tool. But ChatGPT is only giving you MailerLite instructions. That's where you need the business expert like yourself coming in to go, aha, but that's not how it works. These systems
Yes.
don't communicate
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that together. Yeah.
Yes, there's always gonna, yeah, they're always gonna need like the human approach or like the knowledge that goes behind what the ChatGPT's knowledge is or AI knowledge is. Uh, but yeah, I did start looking to how to help my clients using AI better because a lot of the time is again is asking the right questions, prompting AI in the right way. So it's not just about asking how do I do this. Some people struggle with getting really really good outputs because they don't know what the input is going. So they don't know how to input the information in ChatGPT or whatever they use, and then still they don't know how to do with the solution with the answer from so yeah, I think that's something I'm actually exploring in I see a lot of copywriters helping people with using AI for copies, which is great, and it saved me so much time. I hate creating content and I use ChatGPT all the time, and as you were saying, so it's saving me time because I've got a consistent presence and I don't create all of the content myself, so it's always me, but it's like some is a bit polished and AI generated, or even though just a disclaimer, I always tweak it and I make it mine. But then so it frees up my time so I can have more brain space to
Hmm.
come up with original content on the go and put it out. So it's all like a cycle and, freeing time somewhere so you can be more spontaneous and more personal in another side. But I want to really start helping people in using AI, not just for copy, which sounds like and looks like people are just using it for creating captions because it's the most time consuming thing. But it's so good. And I've used it a lot for strategic help, for to act as my strategy. I have ADHD, so it's quite hard for me to take decisions. I always double guess and overthinking all the time. AI can be a really good help in that sense if you know which questions to ask. Again, it always
Mm.
comes back to that. You need to know what the problem is, what is possible, which automation is possible, what to ask AI to help you with, or how to set up AI in a certain way so the output is actually useful for you and you can know what to do with it.
Yeah, it's that holistic approach again. It's about
Yeah.
you knowing really what you as in your business, you and yourself knowing what your setup is, giving the AI tool enough context so that it understands that, so it can then provide the best results for you as well. So we talked a little bit earlier on, just maybe one AI automation tool, as you said. We mentioned Zapier or Zapier, however,
Yes.
earlier on. Now, what other ones do you use? Do you use Make? Do you use Pabbly? Do you use
I've tried
any other ones?
Make.com. I tried because a client of mine asked me if we could use that because they already started using it. I had a play. I liked it. I found for what I needed to do, Zapier was just a bit better. So the difference is just which tools you can automate and
Yeah.
integrate via these tools without coding. I actually, so I had to use coding with Make because my clients was like, okay, if you got time, please can we try and use Make? If you can't, we go back to Zapier. So I've asked again ChatGPT to guide me with this coding, and it was so funny because, as we were saying before, this is a good example of me at some point thinking and saying, "Right, this is not working," but ChatGPT kept lying to me. It was so frustrating. So when you're like, "Okay, well, I need to do this. What do I do?" And then it started working. I was like getting excited. Okay, I'm making this work with coding. I'm such a geek. It's awesome. But then the error started coming, and I was like, "So you told me to do this, but there's nothing like that." Oh yes, of course. And he always pretends that he wanted to test you. Yeah, of
Hmm.
course. Yeah, you are right. This is happening. So why don't you try this? And I was telling it. But we tried it before. I told you that it was wrong. So I had this conversation with ChatGPT, helping me to write coding, which was fun. Eventually, I had to give up because
Hmm.
it wasn't really bringing me anywhere. So you see, the downside of AI right now, sometimes it hallucinates, so it tells you things that don't exist. So you have to be careful about taking the information that comes out with that. So sometimes it's just wrong.
Yeah.
But Zapier is my go-to. It's for those who are listening who don't know it. It's basically a platform that allows you to connect other platforms virtually. All the platforms that you've used, as we're talking about, MailerLite, ClickUp, all the Google Suite, Google Docs, Google Sheets, anything that you can think, you can link them together, and that's how things get automated the right way and in a really smooth and seamless ways. So what we were saying earlier about choosing the right tools, it doesn't matter for me to have an all-in-one tool or something more expensive or less expensive. I want my clients to be able to pick whatever they prefer and fits their business model. And then with Zapier, we can link them all together anyway. So you can always have information going from one place to another using
Yeah.
this tool. So yeah, it's one of my favorites, obviously, as an automation expert. I couldn't live without it. It's literally the
Yeah.
reason why we can connect to all these platforms and they can talk to each other.
It's the one that works the best in my experience,
Yes.
even though it doesn't connect all, like for one of my
No,
clients,
yeah.
it doesn't work with some of their tools. So we have to use Pabbly instead. And then with another client, only Make worked specifically with that. So you have to work it out between, you have to understand which, or go and work out which tools will work with the automation and then set it up. And sometimes it's not one tool, it's multiple
No, yeah.
tools, but that goes back to your system, that goes back to your process. That might be actually, let's change this tool itself because it means we don't need to connect all of these other
Yes.
parts together. So again, it's going back to that holistic approach and having that expert come in and go, let's simplify this process for you as much as possible. Let's make this process as streamlined so that it makes your customer journey really smooth and your business team, that frees up time to get them to be more creative, more curious, more playful in what they do, more human in the world of automation and AI. Now, what I'm seeing as well is everybody jumping on the bandwagon of AI agents. Now, AI agents, yes, they're great if they work, but they don't always work yet. And I think those of us that are in automation know that already. Automation doesn't always work. It sometimes breaks and you
Yes.
have to keep an eye on it, right? You
Yes.
sometimes that trigger is supposed to happen to push out that action to take place. Like, for example, it's supposed to trigger an email to be sent to the customer. Sometimes that doesn't happen and you don't know that it doesn't happen because maybe your customers told you, oh, I didn't get that email. So it's important to understand that that's basically an AI agent. An AI agent is just an automation. And if you understand the fundamentals of automations, then you understand how an AI agent works. So the only way you can understand automation is to really understand your processes. What is your business not working? What
Yes.
is stopping it from working? And then what tools can help you to replace that in that way? So I think there's still some time to go. So not to worry, everybody. There's still
No.
some time before the world of AI and automations as well. So let's think about those questions that you ask people. Now, I know that you've got a quiz for people to take. Is that the
Yes.
same as what you go through with your customers, or is this one for people to just
No, it's much
understand?
more, yeah, it's much simpler. It's for entry level, either new businesses or businesses who have run for a while and they know that they need systems. The question that they would ask me if they were speaking to me, they would say, what system do I use? What tool do I use? Because I know that people use tools and systems interchangeably, even though they are definitely not the same thing, but I understand what they mean. And it's very simple, meaning that the results are free. So I basically created 3 groups of people and it works really well. People tell me, I thought I needed this. I wasn't sure, but then your quiz told me that. Oh, it's working really well. And it's good for people to have a second opinion, somebody telling them, yeah, okay, you need to create a funnel. You need a lead generation system, or no, you need to focus on something else. Because then at least you narrow down, if you
Mm.
want to DIY, you narrow down like what platforms are available. I give people the recommendations of the tools that I recommend so they don't have to, scour the internet for the right answer. Yeah, and I love it. I've been meaning to do a quiz for a while. You kindly suggested the platform to do it with, and I really enjoyed creating it. I create loads of quizzes for clients, but I never created my own.
It's funny that, isn't it? That you do
Yes,
it for
yeah,
other people, but not for ourselves.
yes,
We do it the
yeah,
same way. But no, I'm really glad it's working out well because it does. I think it simplifies that people's process of understanding
yeah,
what they need to start off with.
yes.
I'm
Yes.
so glad you've created
Yeah.
that for people,
Yeah.
Ilaria. So I'll share that quiz in the show notes and in the description as well. I'm just going to give the URL here for it, and it is bit.ly/system-quiz. But again, it's in the show notes. Go and check out Ilaria's quiz and work out which automations or which systems that need worked on to start off with. But before we finish up today, Ilaria, we can chat for hours. I know
I
about
know,
this.
yeah.
We can keep going on and on and on about this. But what I like to give the listeners are 3 tips that they can take away on how to simplify their business with either systems, automations. What can you share to be able to help them that they can take away from today's listening?
Okay, so I would say number one, to not choose a tool just because your friend is using it, just because your coach is using it, especially your coach, or like if you see like big creators recommending a tool, always double check if they're affiliates, because I've seen that a lot. So, people promoting tools when you don't really know whether they are doing it because they get a percentage on the sales. So always ask. I give 30 minutes discovery call. So if people want to use them to come and ask me for my recommendations, they can certainly do that. So don't just go with what's popular, but ask the right questions to an expert. Then I would say, as I said at the beginning, make sure that you spend your time wisely. Like anything, even if it's 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, but it's something that someone else or an automation could do, then that's not time used wisely. Your aim is to get to a point where you only do things where you need to do them in person, ideally. So all the most successful entrepreneurs that that's what they're doing. They are automating or delegating everything else, and there's a reason for that.
Mm.
And then number three, let me have a think. So number three would be ask for support, because the time it takes to figure out what you need, the risk of picking the wrong tools or setting up the wrong system is not worth it. Investing in support, it's something that sorry, because I've talked so much, I need to drink some water. Can I drink some water?
Please. No, I would really support that massively, is invest in some advice. If you're not investing in the support to get it done for you, invest in the right advice from the experts like yourself, because it is super important to have somebody that's got an understanding of the full picture and not just the little small tech setup that they've done previously. It's people that understand tech, that are problem solvers, that can deep dive into the issue and understand whether it is, as we've talked about, a human issue or a
Yes.
technological issue. But it has to come through speaking with the right people, and not everyone's an expert. Not everyone is, and it's making sure the right people. So share your third tip there before I took it from you there.
It's
What
okay.
your third tip, Ilaria? Yeah, invest in the right people.
So yeah, third tip would be invest in the right people. Start seeing your time as valuable, if not more than money. So would you rather spend 20 hours researching for tools, setting them up, headaches because you don't understand what you're doing, or invest the money in somebody who can do it quickly for you, no headaches, no problems, and no tech stress, and then it's going to work, that is right for you. I've done this on my side for other service providers. So I invested in somebody who's much better than me with content, for example. That's it. These are the best investments that you can think of. Your time is money. You cannot waste your time with things that you don't understand and you are not sure about.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We have to treat the technology as a team member. We have to invest in it, both in time and in money, to make sure that it's working efficiently and effectively for us. And there's no one better than Ilaria to help you with your automations.
Thank
So
you so much.
go ahead and take her quiz. Again, it is bit.ly/system-quiz. It'll be in the show notes. It'll be in the description underneath. Go and check it out, see where your bottlenecks are, and then Ilaria will support you on where those steps are. Now, again, I can't believe that's our time up, Ilaria. We
I
can talk
know.
forever on this stuff as well. We can talk about it forever. Well, it's been a pleasure and an honor to have you on the Digital Dominators podcast today. Is there anything else you want to share with anyone before we finish up?
No, it was lovely to chat with you. As you were right, we could have gone on for ages talking about automations. And maybe we could record another episode next year.
Yeah, let's do
But
that.
yeah,
Let's do
thank you
that.
so much.
Thanks so much, Ilaria. We'll do another episode as well once, see what's happening in a year's time from there as well. Okay, thank you. And we'll see
Bye.
you next time. Bye. Thanks for listening to Digital Dominators. I hope today's episode gave you something practical or at least a bit of a boost to keep things going in this mad digital world. If you're enjoying the podcast, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up. There's loads more good stuff on the way and some brilliant guests lined up too. And if you fancy going a bit deeper, come and join the Digital Dominators community. It's totally free and it's where I share bonus trainings, podcast extras and tools to help you build confidence with your digital skills. You'll also get access to my social media prompt calendar so you can finally stop staring at that blank screen wondering what to post. Just head to technologycoachingonline.com/digital dominators to get started. Alright, that's it from me just now. Stay curious, keep showing up, and I'll catch you in the next one.